Learn to read between the lines, okay? I feel like at first, and a lot of people get stuck at that level too, I feel like at first we take a lot of things for face value, right? We'll look at the people in our lives and how they affect us and what we go through and things like that, okay? We can either choose the path of victim mentality, not one I recommend personally, but you can either go down that path, and blame others for everything. Always talk about what they put you through and what they put you through, and blaming others for the pain that you carry, and etc. Okay? There's no reward at the end of that path. There's no growth ever, because you're constantly outsourcing the power that you could be taking from the situation, okay? So there's never any gain. It's just toxic karmic loops. That's it. Or you could go down door number 2, right? So door number 2 is basically what they call growth mindset. It's the one where you ask, instead of asking why me, you're saying, what is this trying to teach me? What is this saying? Right? So you're taking the experiences and how they're affecting you and asking, what is this trying to tell me? Including the uncomfortable feelings rising within you as triggers or reactions to these situations that signify the pain that you hold and how it's affecting you. Down that path, not only do you see everything as your teacher, including the uncomfortable sensations and emotions that arise within you, if you really want to take it a step further and go a little deeper, you'll look at the whole situation almost like it's a classroom, right? Why are these particular people in your life, aka why are these people currently in your classroom, and what are they trying to teach you about yourself ultimately? Now, I'm not saying someone treating you badly in your life, that they're the ones trying to teach you through how bad they're treating you. No. But think spiritually, think soul-wise, think not at face value, think deeper. The question relating to that is, what in me resonates with holding on to this person, or what in me is allowing this to occur? Where am I lacking boundaries? And what happened to me that taught me that this is okay? And what about their patterns is trying to teach me something? Like, if we're going to think in terms of soul contract, right? Why did your soul, because your soul for good reason agreed to have these specific people at that specific time in your life meet and have these experiences to refine something in you, okay? One example, for example, I'll give you a personal example of mine. Mine were, for example, my parents. So my dad is emotionally avoidant, among other things. And my mom was more of like very emotionally immature, okay? Not developed emotionally. For those of you who are spiritual, you may also think spirit of Leviathan, okay? My soul agreed to the patterns that they had for a certain refinement that my soul was looking for in this life to step into the purpose that I ultimately came here for. Harsh experiences with my father, I learned that I am worthy as I am. And through the experiences with my mom, that one was hard, but through the experiences with my mom, I learned to stand in my truth fully and completely. So this is part of what I mean by read between the lines. If you ask the right questions, you'll get better answers. So instead of the path of why me, which is the victim mentality, okay? And I've been there. Very, very, very early 20s. I want to say like 2021. Okay? I shouted in complete pain, why me? What the fuck's going on? Okay? I get it. But when I saw that path never has an actual resolution, it never leads to anything that involves healing or ending the suffering or growth or etc. I stepped off of that path at that time for good. I never looked back. I threw away the victim mentality path, which is why the snake is on my arm. I literally had to shed or die. So I would either die to that path or shed it and have the renewed path, go on the renewed path, which is the growth mindset, the one where finally asking what instead of why. No more why questions. I was starting to learn what the right questions were that led me to the right answers. Not saying at all that path is easy either, because that path requires you to face yourself. It requires you to take a hard look a lot at your own patterns and why you allow certain things to happen and what happened to you that you thought made it okay. Where did your definition of a sense of safety come from, and does that align with your future? Most of the time the answer is no, which is why you allow people with certain patterns around you, and then you have to go through the process of transformation, of transforming that into a healthier or create true safety, I should say, within your body that creates healthier patterns and embraces healthy boundaries to protect you. And wisdom comes along with that as well from these experiences, so that you no longer have to keep putting yourself in the fire and get burned to learn something. You actually take the gems of wisdom with you and incorporate them into your life. It goes for every single person that you cross paths with. It is all designed, it was all agreed upon by your soul in the contract. And your soul agreed to it, saying, yes, this is exactly what I'm going to need to learn this at this particular point to then accomplish this soul-wise. The thing is, some of us get stuck in the victim mentality part and don't get to the part where they finally shed it and walk down the growth path. And a lot of the times that ends up being a path where, again, it doesn't lead anywhere useful. It doesn't lead anywhere good. It chips away at your soul. And then eventually you end up trying to take yourself out. You end up unaliving yourself. Okay? Because the suffering down that path is just perpetual. It's a literal perpetual cyclic loop. I just thought of the snake image where it's a circle and the snake is eating its tail. And in the middle it says surrender or suffer in a loop. Basically what I'm saying here. You either surrender the victim mentality completely, give it up, and surrender yourself to the growth path completely and completely commit to that path, or you're going to continue to suffer in that loop until you learn. People misinterpret that suffering and they stay in the victim mentality path and end up taking themselves out, when that's unnecessary. It's just a perspective shift. You will get a lot out of it by asking the right questions. No more why questions, no more why me. Okay, because your soul picked it, as you wouldn't be going through that. Okay, divine intelligence, there's no mistakes in it, and your soul is part of that. Everything's part of a classroom. It's all a classroom. You're the student and the master at the same time. You just don't realize it yet. Soul knows exactly what's going on. It's just you that has to remember. Read between the lines. Don't take things at face value. There's so much depth behind everything. Ask the right questions. That brings about the right understanding, and then from there, take action. Whatever's causing suffering is clearly telling you that there's a lesson in it that you need to find, so that you can realign yourself with, and put yourself into better alignment, so that your external reality can start to resemble that alignment. Like a check engine light that comes on. Doesn't mean now you panic and throw a tantrum. It means you open the hood, find out what's going on, or whatever, take it to mechanic, whatever. There's action taken there. to fix the issue, and the car will run better after that. Same with you. Suffering that you're experiencing is the misalignment. It's the check engine light. Check it. You open up your own hood from within. You don't start lashing out at other people, telling them to stop doing what they're doing. They're not going to stop doing what they're doing, and you can't change them. There's a divine reason why they're going to keep doing what they're doing. It doesn't make what they're doing right, but it means that what about this situation is trying to show me something within me. And what about this? Where's the gem in this that I was supposed to take? And something as seemingly small as just getting out of the situation and moving out of the way. You know, there's a shift within that you make so that can happen. You get to this point where you look back after passing the class and getting the gem, which is wisdom, knowledge, alignment, etc. And you look back and you're like, I get it now. I get it now. From a soul perspective, from a deep energetic perspective, from a divine perspective. It's just like, I get it. I get it now.